All right, welcome to Writing Organization. So this video will help you put everything in the right place when it comes to your writing, especially with that professional or business level of writing. So we're going to go ahead and get started. First thing we want to do is our claim. Think of this as your introduction paragraph. Okay, so in the introduction, you want to include a thank you. And that background information, think of this as the reason why you're writing. And then your claim. Remember, this is your opinion plus because plus your two supporting details. So when we are writing, especially in business or some type of letter format, we want to know our role. We are someone to whomever our audience is. So who are you writing to? Maybe you're a student writing to a teacher about a missing assignment. Maybe you're an employee asking your boss for a day off. So you want to ask yourself why you are writing to them, and that's the role you're going to assume. The other thing that's really important is finding the purpose. Why are you writing? So maybe your boss wrote you a letter and you have to write one back. So the why you're writing would be just to provide a response. Or maybe you've been given a prompt and you have to respond in writing. So if that's the case, you ask yourself, what is the question? What am I supposed to be answering? So once you figure out the question, make sure your response is logical. Do you answer the question? If not, go back and make sure your supporting details are logical and they make sense to your reader. All right, so the structure of your intro paragraph. Well, for this particular writing piece, we're going to focus on 4 paragraphs, okay? So your intro, well, the introduction, it goes in the beginning. It's paragraph number 1. So some words you can use in your own piece. You can start by saying, thank you for, okay? Maybe we're thanking them for the opportunity to share a letter. Tell them why you're writing. You could say in reference to, or I'm writing to you because. Recently, it has been brought to my attention. So think of this as the background information or that wording or phrasing from the prompt. And then your claim. Your claim goes in the same place as a thesis statement would go for academic writing. It's your opinion or stance, plus because, plus reason 1 and 2. And this typically goes in the last sentence of paragraph 1. So that's our introduction. Remember, we want to thank you. We want to provide background information and share our claim so our reader knows what we're going to write about. All right, that brings us to reason number 1. Well, we can't just share our opinion without providing reasons. So reason number 1, well, we're obviously going to include the reason or detail itself. We'll have to explain the detail here, provide examples to our readers. And we can do that by saying this shows or this means. So details are everything. When you're writing, pretend that your reader knows nothing about your topic. So your reader needs help understanding. You want to explain everything to try to avoid those questions for when they're done reading. The format for this section, well, we've already done our intro. So supporting detail number 1 will go in paragraph 2 and some transition phrases for this section. The first reason, the initial reason, or to begin. This is because, this means. And then to elaborate, you can say, due to this shows. For an example of this. And then to close this section, you can say, therefore, since, or this is why. So these transition words and phrases can really help solidify that this is reason number 1. All right, well, whenever we're trying to write to someone, we may have a purpose to persuade them. We can't just use one reason. We need a second reason to strengthen our claim. So reason number 2, well, we're going to do the exact same thing. We're going to introduce reason number 2, explain this detail, provide examples as if our reader just doesn't understand. So we do this with details. The details, you want to answer any and all questions. Maybe you're assuming that your reader is going to automatically doubt your claim or your stance. So here you want to show that you're right. provide additional examples and reasoning to really support your claim and that second supporting detail. So the format for this section, it's going to be paragraph 3. It's only reason number 2, but paragraph 3. Our first one we had intro. Our second paragraph is supporting detail number 1. So to transition into this detail, we could use phrases such as the second reason, another reason, this is because, or this means. And then this is where I can really explain it to my reader because I'm going to pretend that they just don't know what I'm talking about. So I can say words like due to this or this shows. For example, an example of this. And then when I'm ready to transition out of this supporting detail, I could use transitional phrases such as therefore, since, and this is why. So again, supporting detail 2 is going to be your third paragraph. Well, we've introduced our claim and we have reason 1 and 2. We can't just end a formal business letter with those 3 things. We need a specific ending. So our conclusion. For our conclusion, we're going to restate our stance or claim. We're going to share our reasons yet again because we don't want our reader to forget. We will also include our call to act or call to action. We'll give a thank you, and then we'll conclude and be done. So the format for this section, well, it's going to be our last paragraph. Whenever we look at the last paragraph, we have to hint to the reader that we're almost done. So transitional words and phrases you can use. In closing, with that said, in summary, and then we're going to restate our opinion or stance and provide reasons 1 and 2. The reason why we remind our reader of our opinion is because we're about to ask them to do something, but we want to make sure that they agree with us. So we restate our opinion and give those details, and then we'll include our call to act. This is where we're very explicit with our reader about what we want them to do. Maybe if you're writing to a teacher about missing grade, you can say something like, please consider removing this grade from the grade book. Or if you're writing to your boss about asking for a day off, you could say, please consider giving me this day off. So a call to act, you're being very clear about what you want your reader to do. And then, of course, before you end, you want to thank your reader for their time. So you can say, thank you for your time. I look forward to hearing from you. So again, structure for our closing, it's going to be our last paragraph, paragraph 4. Okay, so now that we've hinted that our writing is done, let's review. So far, we have our claim. We have reason number 1, reason number 2, and our call to act. So think of this in the 4-paragraph format, almost like a roadmap. If you were driving somewhere new, you wouldn't just end up at the call to action and the conclusion. No, you have to go step by step. So remember these 4 steps when writing in a business style letter. You want to include your intro and your claim in paragraph 1, reason number 1 and all the explanation in paragraph 2. Then we'll do the same thing for reason 2 and all the explanation. That's going to be paragraph 3. And then your call to act and your conclusion, we're going to put that in paragraph 4. So again, just like a roadmap, you go step by step, and then all of a sudden from start to finish, you'll be done.